talk about one of my favorite things about the MCU in its early years and how Guardians of the Galaxy 3 brings that one thing to an end, I think, within the MCU greater storytelling. If you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3, swipe on, give me a like, swipe on, and come back. I don't do spoilers in my reviews, but this is a discussion. So, in the early years of the MCU, I loved how they could take a spectacular situation, fighting a cosmic god or, a world-destroying entity, but within those stories, build in real-world, relatable relationships. We could all connect with these people through their interpersonal relationships, even if their situations are outlandish. The first one that really stuck with me, obviously, was Tony and Pepper. They came together in a very complicated way. And then things got more complicated after the events of the Avengers because Tony had a layer of PTSD to deal with. And I love how that PTSD was represented in his films and impacted their relationship moving forward. Now, a lot of people in Civil War wanted to hate on Iron Man and his positioning, but they forgot that he's looking through it through a very different set of eyes. We can't have the experiences that he had in that world, and it's obviously going to skew his opinion on things. And there's plenty of argument to say that he was proven right. So that's a whole different video, though. Anyway, their relationship was phenomenal, and it came to a very beautiful close at Endgame. This brings me to Star-Lord and Gamora, my second favorite relationship. They had a very traditional fairy tale, almost rom-com beginning, but with the events of Endgame and the greater MCU storytelling, it got way more complicated. So in Guardians 3, coming back into it, Star-Lord was sad for the loss of the love of his life, where Gamora didn't have those feelings. She's the same person, but not the same person. I love this idea that fate makes us who we are. Regardless of our situation, we, within our DNA, within our genetic makeup, are going to be the person that we're going to be. Gamora, by the end of Guardians 3, is still the Gamora that we know and love. She just got there in a very different way. Star-Lord, at the end of the movie, has to realize that this Gamora, while, yes, the same person, but a very different path took that person to where they are, and it did not include him. So to put them together in a relationship, a fairy tale relationship at the end of the movie, would have been doing a disservice to the complexities that were built up in that relationship. So Gamora also has to come to a realization in Guardians 3, and they do it beautifully, where she understands, finally, what kind of person Star-Lord is, how she maybe could have had that relationship with him, and respects the loss that he feels. At the same time, she has built that family vibe that we know that she loves, but she found it in a different place, and that has to be okay. And at the end of the movie, it's fascinating because it's beautiful, it's sad, but it's also joyful. Everyone is in a joyful place. Star-Lord is in the most complicated spot, but his realization of who he is, what he has to do as a person to accept his loss and begin to move forward, all of that is human. It is stuff that we can relate to, and it is what makes him a grounded character that we can connect with, regardless of what super being he's fighting. I love this. I don't think past Endgame, past Guardians, that Marvel has successfully done that as well. And I'm talking about the movies, I'm not talking about the TV shows, because I don't watch all the TV shows. But I don't think moving forward they've done that as well as they did with Star-Lord and Gamora and Tony and Pepper. Before you come at me with Spider-Man and Mary Jane, I don't feel that relationship found any grounding until the most recent movie, and even then only in the last 10 minutes. It was hyper rom-com to me. There wasn't any real depth of relationship there. It was very surfacey. So we'll see what happens with them moving forward, but they're not in the same level as Tony and Pepper and Gamora and Star-Lord. Sorry. Let me know what you think about relationships in the MCU, these two relationships, and what we have to look forward to moving forward.